hello everyone. Here we are back again at Wild Dog, and this time we are interviewing the son of U.D.O before he's going to play some nice drums at Olympiad tonight. So welcome, Sven.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
And you're the drummer of Sven Dirkschneider band, but as well the old gang. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I joined U.D.O in 2015, and we came up with Dirkschneider and the Old Gang as a side project. And today we are here under the name Dirkschneider, playing only except classics. So there's sort of like different projects here and there, but it's all U.D.O Dirkschneider in the end. Yeah.
And Balls to the Walls are going to be played tonight.
That is correct. We celebrate the 40th anniversary of the classic and historic legendary album Balls to the Wall.
And what makes this album so legendary? I love it, don't get me wrong, but I was like, whoa, you're going to revisit tonight classics.
Well, I mean, this was the breakthrough for Accept worldwide, if you want to see it like this. And for us, it's very special because, or for U.D.O and Peter as well, it's very special because a couple of those songs never been played live before. So that's a lot of fun, and the whole album just rolls through very nicely, and there's no filler on this album. It's all very good and strong songs, and the people really enjoy it, especially listening to the songs that haven't been played live that often or even never. So that's really cool.
Awesome, and I only saw Dirkschneider in 2014, a decade ago almost, with Sister Sin as support, long time ago. So I'm wondering what songs you never played will be here tonight.
Oh, well, I mean, 2014 was U.D.O for sure, so there was no except classics that have been played in 2014. But it's going to be a lot of songs that we never played live under the banner of Dirkschneider. We never played Losing More Than You've Ever Had. I think we never played Turn Me On live, and Guardian of the Night as well. The others, I think, should have been in the set list here and there. But it's really cool songs that the people really enjoy, and they really love to hear them live.
That's awesome, and I loved U.D.O's classic, and for me it's an extra special gig because I'm going to hear some classic songs which I never heard, and for those sitting cozy at the home and not being here, you miss something. Be there next time, I suppose. Back to you, so it's very interesting, you are a live member of Saxon, correct?
Yeah, that is true. I worked with those guys back in 2013, I think I started, and I was Nigel's drum tech. And we were touring the UK actually in 2014, and Nigel got sick on tour and he had to be rushed to the hospital with an aneurysm in his head, so we had to cancel those dates. I think it was 7 that we had to cancel, and everyone went home, and then suddenly I got a call from Biff, and he asked me if I wanted to play the rescheduled dates in February 2015. And I was super surprised by that because I would have never imagined that they would call me or even consider asking me if I could play it. But obviously he trusted in me, and he said that I've been with the band for a year, so I knew the songs, I knew the set list. And then I started rehearsing, and there I was in February 2015. I played with them 7 shows in the UK, and while I was doing that, I was also preparing to go on tour with U.D.O for the first time in March 2015. So basically everything came together at that point in my life where I had to decide, okay, do you take this route or not? Like become a professional musician or do something else? And I went for it, and here I am 10 years later, and we are on tour together, so it's extra special.
Nice, and now you are with your dad, like the drummer of your dad's band. So how did that happen? I know you did audition and so on, but your dad, I think he's strict as well. He makes this excellent music. So how did you pass through the audition?
Well, I mean, we were on tour in Berlin with Saxon actually, and my dad came for a visit, and he talked to Biff, and he was telling him that he was currently looking for a drummer. And then Biff told him, like, why would you search for someone? Your drummer is sitting right there. He can play it. I see him play every day on soundcheck. So why don't you take your son? And I think that's when he really started thinking about it, because it was not his original plan to think about that. And then he asked me, and it took me, I think, good 2 weeks to decide if I want to do it or not. because obviously I was pretty young at that time, and I had a lot of pressure on me. You know, if I wanted to do it, I had to put everything in, and I did. And then I just locked myself in my rehearsal room, and I played and played and played. I think it was with the Saxon gig, it was over 50 songs that I had to learn at that time. So that was quite some material and not very easy to play. And then, yeah, I stood the test of time, I guess, you know. And
you're still here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still here, and we do a lot together now. It developed into like a family business, I would say. We write music together, we write lyrics together, and we develop songs together. We run the company together. So all of that is now, developed.
Dirkschneider family.
Exactly, yeah, and we like it. You know, it's really cool to be on tour together. We catch up with a lot of time that we didn't have when I was a kid, to be honest, because he was always on tour. So that is the extra bonus that we get, and we get to hang around, and we have a really good time and a lot of fun together.
Nice. You got to know your dad basically as well better.
Exactly, absolutely. I mean, you know, being the son from a musician that is on tour worldwide, obviously you can imagine that he wasn't home that much. So I barely got to see him when I was a kid. And we always tried to travel as much as possible with him whenever the time allowed. And yeah, so it's really cool to really catch up on time and talk about stuff and sort of like, yeah, it's therapy as well, if you want to call it like that, you know, and that is really cool to get to know each other better, and that's what we did over the last 10 years. And we are very happy that it worked out, because it could have gone horribly wrong, you know.
Yeah, the family is
exactly. Yeah, absolutely. It can be difficult, but for us it worked, and we are very happy with the decisions that we made, and here we are.
Amazing, and I love your drumming. I think it's amazing, like how you drum and so on. And I believe it's great, like you are the younger generation, because U.D.O is like, you know, the older generation of the 80s, and you are more from my generation, like more the 2090s generation. So I think it's a very nice mix of combo, the old school and the bit newer old school. So I really love this, you know, combination. And I think you might have as well some newer ideas that you propose to your dad.
Exactly. That's the cool thing, what we like about being in a band where we have Peter and U.D.O, who are sort of the older generation, and then we have Dee and myself, who are the younger people, and we come up with different stuff that they wouldn't even think about. And then they have the experience, you know, and and if you combine that, that makes a very, very nice symbiosis, you know, and it's really cool. And the new stuff that we write, the new material, is also kind of modern but sort of old school. And us young, you know, people, we get to play the old school stuff, which is also very nice. And we challenge them with modern stuff, you know, and it's really
exactly.
cool. Yeah.
And yeah, so what new ideas did you bring that old school generation didn't think of, and what kind of music influence?
Well, we come up with different melody lines, for example, you know, and I come up with different drum grooves that they would never consider to have in a song, you know, and then we try to come up with that. On the last record we did with U.D.O, Touchdown, we had some very complicated material, you know, very fast songs like Touchdown, the title song, and it was very complicated stuff to play as well. And that's something where, I would say the young generation is more into that. You know, they would keep it more simple, mid-tempo, you know, a bit like that. And that's a cool combination, and it works for us, and the people seem to like it as well. It was a very strong success with Touchdown. The tour was great, and it's cool to play it live as well. Yeah.
It's amazing. I heard the song and great, but We Will Rock You. I think it's a song where you put the old school and new school, so it's a very nice mixture, I believe. And growing up with your dad and being now on tour with your dad, what did you learn from your dad?
Oh, a lot. I mean, you know, I basically learned all about the music business, all about the music scene. I learned a lot of behavior on stage, you know, being present on stage to the fans and for the fans, and what to do and what not to do. You know, it's a lot of stuff that you have to go through and experience yourself, and it's always easier if there's like sort of a mentor who's telling you stuff in advance, so you maybe don't run into all of the traps that they're out there, you know.
So what's the biggest trap?
Well, I mean, it can be that you you know, you're so nervous that you go on stage and you fall down, you know, let's start with this, you know, and
Yeah,
it's
some
like a
musicians-
typical thing, and stuff like that. But also behind the scenes, you know, if you tour together with another band, you don't want to disturb them, and you don't want to be that fanboy, you know, walking to them, can I please have a picture and stuff like that. Nobody really wants that, you know. Just be a cool and a nice guy and relaxed about the stuff, you know, and then everything will work. And that's what I learned, I guess. Yeah.
I always say when I do this kind of stuff, you know, when on tour, you have a moment where you can, you know, have a business and then it's all fun.
Exactly. Yeah.
Otherwise, it gets weird when everyone starts asking pictures the
That's
same
correct.
day. So if you want to go in the music business, don't run after people and ask for pictures and signatures.
Yeah.
And something random. So what's the best rugby match that you watched on television?
The best rugby match.
Yes.
To be honest, I don't watch rugby at all. If I watch something, then I watch American football or German soccer. We call it football in Germany. But rugby is definitely not my thing to watch. Not at all.
Now you've minus points here. It's
I'm
a big.
sorry, but I know. I don't understand the rules. That's the biggest problem. It's so complicated. Like American football is already super complicated, and rugby I think is even more complicated. So, but I might get into that. But you don't get to see that. That's the thing. In Germany, they don't show rugby matches, you know, so you can't really watch it. Even.
Whoa, that's new.
Unless it's like a
stuff.
world championship or something like that. But at least I don't have the channels on my TV to even watch rugby.
Amazing. So, about U.D.O. So, what's next on the horizon, and what do you look forward in this kind of tour as well?
Well, I mean, first of all, we have the UK tour and Ireland tour with Saxon, which is a great experience, and a lot of nights are sold out already. And we just played Belfast yesterday; it was sold out. It was super awesome. So we are looking forward to that. And then we have 3 more shows coming up in December this year, and we are currently in the studio. You know, U.D.O just came out of the studio to go on tour, singing the first songs for the next U.D.O record. And we can't really tell when it's coming out, but there's new music in the pipeline, and we
As
will,
always.
exactly, we will continue with Dirkschneider until next year September. That's already planned. We will play a bunch of festival shows. We have a B tour coming up, an encore tour in January 2026. We are working to go back to America and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff in the pipeline. And then at some point we will close the chapter with Dirkschneider and Balls to the Wall, and then we will come back with U.D.O. And yeah, therefore we are currently recording the next album.
Amazing. Looking forward to it. And you are signed with Rheining Phonic Music.
Correct, yeah, we're with Raining Phoenix. We've been with AFM before, and then we signed with Raining Phoenix, and it's a great record company, a lot of enthusiasm in the company, a lot of great people there, and yeah, we can't wait to get on the next project with them and put out new music.
Yeah, they're great. Thank you so much, Rheining Phonic Music, for setting up this.